Let's get some analysis from Eldred de Klerk, who's a comparative policing and social conflict specialist who focuses on conflict resolution, violence prevention, rule of law and security sector reform. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, we've just listened to some of the latest recruits who are saying that they are looking at the level of crime in the country, and we are looking at a place where police to citizen ratio lags behind according to UN recommendations. Yes, more police officers are needed, but there are more deeper challenges as we look at how the balance for this urgent need will be utilized.
Good evening, and good evening to your viewers. Absolutely, we do lag behind. My contention is that we do have officers and other sources of human resources. We have traffic police, we have municipal police, and we have law enforcement officers, and we have a whole core of intelligence officers in our state, in our domestic intelligence capabilities. And we have judicial officers in the NPA. Granted that each of these sectors have been hollowed out, and each of these sectors in turn needs to be bolstered and strengthened. So, however, if they work in the way that we undertake to work, which is as multidisciplinary and intersectorial teams, then you immediately increase the capability of our public safety and security institutions because they can complement each other and they can work together. We need researchers, we need investigators, we need forensic scientists, we need economists, we need people who can do surveillance, COVID surveillance, we need people who can handle informants, agent handlers. We need to be recruiting young people who, as the normal role of police, as we've heard, unfortunately, still remains combating crime. We also need to those who can look to prevent crime and those who can police in the 21st century as South Africa changes, our linguistic culture and makeup has changes, our complexion has changed. People are speaking Kiswahili on our streets. They speak in Portuguese, they speak in Arabic. And our police officers now need to be able to understand those languages, engage in those languages, and serve those populations. So I'm excited and grateful for those young people who've signed up. And I'm also concerned that we're not seeing how our country is changing and recruiting accordingly.
To what extent should a country such as ours thrive in its public safety institutions, particularly the police who are plagued by the fragility in governance, outdated selection process, and poor alignment sometimes with community needs?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the police is going to struggle because the state is struggling. Our other public institutions that are sister institutions to the police, health, education, home affairs, all transport, all of those institutions are struggling, and especially at a local municipal level. The public trust has waned across the board. However, the police in the development state needs to understand their role, and their role needs to be to, yes, fulfill the development agenda of the state, which means working in concord and hand in hand with the communities in which they are placed, which means they need to be focused at a local level, overcoming local crime, safety and grime issues. Police need to be pointing out to local municipalities and to mayors and to councillors and to provincial and to their counterparts in other public service departments. Let's sit at the same table. Let's see how we're using our municipal budgets. Let's see what we're doing in terms of roads and infrastructure. Let's see how we're cleaning up crime and grime in communities. Let's see how we're affording young people places to play and express themselves. This is the role of a professional police officer in the 21st century. It's not simply about going out and simply just arresting criminals. That's important as that is. It's also about looking at public safety, protection, security and prevention, and ensuring that they deal with the criminogenic factors. So police need to be working with other professionals, with other sectors including business, to ensure, or corporate and industry, to ensure that there's a much more joint up effort to provide public safety.
Should the future of policing prioritize quantity to meet staffing ratios, or are we looking at quality to ensure that, as you speak to the 21st century policing, the changing demographics, that, you know, a sense of quality is there to ensure that the work is done?
Indeed, we need a bit of both. We need to be recruiting directly from universities, and our National Development Plan 2030 says that we need to institute a two-track system of professionals who can do their work. And here we're looking at forensic officers, counter-surveillance officers, the kind of specialist skills that shouldn't be lost simply because somebody needs to be promoted. And then we need a management corps that is dedicated to serving and supporting and also ensuring that their officers are well resourced, that they have the necessary tools of the trade, that their mental and physical health is looked after, and that they are rewarded and remunerated accordingly. So that's what the NDP calls for. And to your earlier question then, if our police focuses on working and dealing with local threats and vulnerability, that's how you start winning back the confidence of our local communities and our society at large, because you're improving the quality of their lives, and you're ensuring that they are feeling safer, and you're doing it with them.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening. Wrapping that conversation up with Eldred de Klerk, who's a comparative policing and social conflict specialist, focusing on conflict resolution, violence prevention, the rule of law and security sector reform.